Samsara loaded here. We're going to play some Samsara in Heretic. Now, if anybody here watching, because this will be going up on YouTube later as well, and I'll make highlights of this, so I might as well mention this now. Nobody has ever heard of Samsara. If you have no idea what the fuck is going on right now, we're going to be playing Heretic, as we all know, except something's different here, because I'm going to be playing it as Caleb from Blood, because that's what Samsara lets you do. And I'm even going to have the monsters from Blood and from Hexen in the mix as well. So, yeah. But, there's no reason to dilly-dally here. Might as well get on right into it. We're going to be playing on Well Done, Ultraviolence. Thankfully not nearly as difficult as it is in the original Blood. It's pretty, I mean, the concept is not hard to understand, right? I mean, we've all seen Doom mods. I mean, if you're watching this, there's a chance you've already played this, if you're watching this, really. You know? But I thought, like, oh, what should I do? What should I do for, like, a first stream? Well, might as well do some Samsara, right? Because I hold Samsara very near and dear to my heart, right? This is a very, very fun Doom mod, and it's really well made. So we're just in the old docks level here. I can also go over some of the differences between Caleb in this and Caleb from Blood. So that, as you can see, he has a revolver, because he did not have that in the original. So you start with your pitchfork, which pitchfork, still a very viable option here. Still works just as you'd expect. I will say, I've played original Blood, and I almost would say that the pitchfork works better here, because the hit detection is far more accurate. And as you can see, we got the monsters from Blood, Heretic, and Hexen. And I also picked this game because it's one of those games where I have so much muscle memory with Doom and shooters in general that it's like, I can easily talk and play this game. Like, I do not need to focus on what I'm doing. I may need to start focusing slightly, but it's like challenging myself anyway, because Caleb didn't have the revolver in the original, so it's nice to try to get your pitchfork skills in. Not that pistols have any ammo, because pistols, by default, don't take ammo in Samsara. There's also a few things to note, is that this is Heretic, but I cannot actually pick up med kits, because in the original Heretic you get quartz flasks, and you could carry those around. Not here. They're just standard med kits that I have to... If I run low on health, then I have to go find them. Can't take them with me. But of course, you do get a lot of the pickups that you did in the original Blood. So that'd be like your beast eyes, your night vision, and your a few other things. I also picked Heretic because I just really think Caleb kind of fits, you know. I'm just thinking, like, what do you do with Samsara? Like, what's the first thing that springs to my mind? It's usually just like Caleb and Heretic, because it's like, you know. That's also one of the reasons why I like Samsara, because it is compatible with most of the games on the Doom engine. So, like, you can play Heretic, you can play Hexen, you can play Strife, you can play Chex Quest, you can play all these things. A lot of gameplay mods don't tend to have compatibility with them. And it's just so many different characters, and, you know, and they all have their own monster sets, so it's really just an endless source of entertainment for me, really. Just do... Oh, jeez, I forgot about these Tommy gun cultists. The cultists aren't as bad as they are in the original, but they are still kind of annoying most of the time. I'd say one of the more annoying ones is bats, because they're actually pretty formidable enemies here. If you're not looking for them, then they are fairly annoying. Just go through here. Yeah, it's over. Yes, it's a secret. I'll start in here. Yeah. One thing to note about Heretic in Samsara, you do get both the shotgun replacement and the super shotgun replacement at the same time, which is, yeah, it's alright, I suppose. I mean, maybe it'd be nicer if they were a little more staggered, but it's fine. Also, because with Caleb, I actually find the flare pistol does tend to remain useful in some certain scenarios. And you also do have the alt fire, which only takes 3 shots, or 3 shells, in this, as opposed to taking like 8 in the original. It took like 8 of your flares, which like worked fine for blood because it was balanced around that, but here it's a bit less powerful and a bit it's a bit less powerful, but takes less ammo. So you also saw I got there is you can actually get the dual or Guns Akimbo as a replacement for the Tome of Power, or if you're playing Doom, then be a replacement for the Berserker pack. I have it set up so that's like a power-up, basically, so it basically works... Well, it basically works like it does in the original, actually, but, there is an option to have it be toggle, but, did I get all the secrets? No. I think I didn't go outside, that's what it was. Yeah, I'm gonna want to do that, but, yep. Right. Oh yeah, it's an interesting thing, too, is that you get this, fire effect, like in Blood, where they set on fire, but you can do that to enemies that aren't even from Blood, which is nice. You know, I just love like little details like that. It's really all in the detail work with something like this, you know. Yeah, I got the pitchfork. Because I remember I once did like a Half-Life stream, and I did like half of it with broken audio and like I did half of it with like broken audio and like the worst bitrate imaginable. And here I actually made sure to set up the bitrate correctly. And we're going to the dungeons here. Running around here. These are the early levels of Heretics. They're not that hard. Especially with Caleb, because this is one thing that Caleb is good at doing. It's kicking some ass. I think I once played the Heretic shareware like a long time ago, because it was part of like... I remember there's like this Flash game that was like three... It was like three... I can't remember what it was. It was like Heretic, Hexen, and Doom as like a 3-pack, but as a Flash game. And it was all the shareware versions. I remember that. That was probably like my first experience actually playing Doom, now I think about it. I remember that specifically because it was used on this mod for Gmod, Gmod Tower. Because they had like an arcade in Gmod Tower where you could play the Doom triple pack as one of the arcade games. I remember that. Which is interesting enough to come full circle, because I think Tower Unite, which is the spiritual successor to Gmod Tower, actually supports... I think it supports like DOSBox now, because it like supports a bunch of emulators. So technically we've come full circle and you can play Doom shareware and Gmod Tower again. I'm gonna love that TNT. Come on. Thought you could sneak up on me. They would not have wanted to throw off dynamite bundled air. So I have blown myself up a few times. It's not hard to do that. Oh, I can get the Tommy gun now. So yeah, so as is to be expected, all the drops and stuff are replaced with, you know, their blood equivalents, which that goes the same for any other character, because I can show this off. Just look at how many characters you got here. And it's almost reaching the bottom of the screen here. I mean, you got all these characters, they're all very well made. Yeah, definitely, if you haven't played this mod before, if you're just watching this on YouTube later, and you don't know what this is, seriously, give it a try, it's great. Also, a few things about the integration with Heretic is that, all the ammo for the Elven Wand is replaced with, like, health bonuses, I think. I think, like, the grenades, or the time bombs, rather. The time bombs are replaced with the armor pickups, because, you don't really see a lot of armor in, Heretic until later, so... I used to call the gargoyles from Heretics bats, and everybody would always correct me, and they're not bats, they're gargoyles. Yeah, I know. They're not bats. Alright, but they look like bats. Yeah, they make me think of bats. If I say the bats from Heretic, like, you would know what I'm talking about. You know, they're not the fire gargoyles to me, they're the fire bats. Well, actually, if you want a fire bat, then there you go. This is a fire bat for you. I will always remember to save when I'm playing by myself, but if I'm on camera, if I'm streaming, like, I will always forget to save. If you were like a Let's Player back in the day, that was like the worst. Because you could do something flawlessly off camera, but as soon as you were on camera, like, all of your gaming expertise just goes right out the window, and you have no idea what you're doing anymore. I mean, you can practice for it, you can prepare all you want, but once that camera goes on, I mean, you know, like your hand starts cramping, your face starts itching, you know, everything starts going awry. like jousting with them now. There we go. Sharpshooters. I say that and I start missing terribly. That's like how the flare can stick to the explosive. I don't even know what it's that. Like an explosive spore or something is it called? You know, I don't think I ever wondered what the fantasy variant of an explosive barrel looks like. I mean, how do you even come up with something like that? I guess you just do. Want to make a salad out of those explosive barrels. I never thought I would wonder what the explosive spore barrels from Heretic taste like. Would it be like Brussels sprouts or something? Probably taste of like something you shouldn't be eating, realistically, because you find them in like toxic pits. Yeah, that's what I consider a good meal. You know, I was never a fan of Brussels sprouts. That and asparagus. Never liked asparagus. It's illegal. What's illegal? Not liking Brussels sprouts? Get a first taste of some fire gargoyles here. Actually, are they fireball throwing gargoyles? That's just getting confusing, right? You got fire bats, fire gargoyles, and then you got the... Why couldn't they just call them bats? So just take a dynamite to the face. Did you see that? Caleb just took that like a champion. Like this water, which can I just say, I don't think I ever liked this texture. Because it doesn't tile well at all. Ow. Since I have it, because another feature that Samsara has that you can replace certain items with other items. So I tend to replace like the invisibility with like armor, and sometimes I replace the light amps with something else. You can use the voodoo doll. Which, if you don't know the gimmick of the voodoo doll, it's that if I miss my shot, then I take damage instead. So just showed off. Seems sticking it into his finger there. As for how he manages to do that, I have no idea. It's so painful to see him pricking his own finger. Whoa, 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 whoa. That's calls for TNT. I love how no matter what you do to the golems, they just explode. They just turn into a big old pile. They do that. There we go. That's what they do. That's what they do, and their soul flies out. I'm trying to think of any other game I've played where you can kill an enemy and have its soul fly out. Which way? Hey, I think the TNT is actually affected by the wind. That's neat. Now we gotta go in this green room. And not get blown up by the several beef jerky sticks flying out. Beef jerky stick. Well, yeah, because the TNT looks like beef jerky to me. Or rather, beef jerky sticks look more like TNT to me, because every time I get a pack of Slim Jims, I'm always like, I'm eating a stick of dynamite. Especially if you get those ones that kind of got a bit of spice to them. It really does feel like you're eating a stick of dynamite. Get off my train, Caleb. We're not on a train. Anybody want some roasted bats? Because there's plenty. Could you imagine the smell that would come from that? Just like a whole bunch of bats and gargoyles being roasted. I never thought about that before in the context of blood. You know? Because burning stuff really does smell. You know? It smells almost immediately. Wow. I just ate that pack of dynamite like it was a military ration. I don't know. I ate it like it's a thing you eat. It's like 6:49 for me, so it's like dinner time. I ate it for dinner. How about that? You know, Caleb just had a nice plate of dynamite for dinner. I'm also not even going to mention how there could possibly be wind in this area when it's surrounded by walls. How is there, like, water flow? Doesn't that not make sense? It's just game logic, I guess, but seriously. Then actually, I say it doesn't make sense that the water could be moving, but magic does exist in this universe, so I suppose it could just be like enchanted water. UAC guy just said, Gandalf pissed there once 70 years ago, and now the water won't stop dancing. That's just an amazing concept. I kind of just want to let that sit there for a second. And the idea that a magic man taking a leak, possibly make the water enchanted. I wonder what Gandalf's toilet would be like then. Would just be dancing all around, doing like ragtime whenever he goes to take a leak. Oh my god, and I claim I'm a Blood fan. I'm trying to remember what these are called. Ah, you gotta be kidding me, game. That those are also gargoyles. Ah, of course they are. Because I didn't follow my instinct and say they were gargoyles. Of course I didn't. How many times is Caleb gonna stab his own thumb that's just gonna fall off? Better hope that nail is clean, otherwise he's gonna have to go get a tetanus shot. Caleb has taken so many explosives to the face, I'm convinced his skin's just made out of titanium or lead or something. You know, these FPS heroes, they just don't make them like they used to. Now you'll have ones that die in like 5 shots, not Caleb. Oh, I can tell this is a resilient man. He just took that shotgun blast like a champ. Not take a bit of flaming aerosol very well, though. And of course, I forgot to save again. Well, no matter. Not hard to make it through. Wow! Flung me like a football. Filled my back full of holes, you did. On the bright side, now at least I can cosplay Swiss cheese. Using a voodoo doll against a disciple, that's quite an interesting overlap of sorcery there. Because this map is thankfully not hard to navigate. I don't know if any of the Heretic maps are necessarily hard to navigate. It's not like Hexen, where there's plenty of stuff that I wouldn't have even noticed was there if I didn't look up a guide. I played all of Hexen once, and I definitely needed a guide to be able to get through all that. I mean, it's starting to get, like, NES game cryptic near the end. There's some good parts, too, it's just that a lot of the negatives... The negatives of Hexen really bring the game down, in my opinion. I always preferred Strife gameplay-wise. Even though Hexen did certainly do a lot for the aging Doom engine. Oh. Real good shot with that dynamite. It's good, I really do need the dynamite throwing practice when I play the real blood. No game audio. Yeah, you're right, of course, yeah, something has to go wrong in the audio department. Game audio is off. That's better than the mic being off, though. I was thinking I might stream like No Man's Sky because I wanted to play that. I want to play No Man's Sky because I actually watched Star Wars the first time the other day. I watched like episode 4 like 2 days ago, and then I watched episode 5 last night. 2 thrones in a room full of coffins. Isn't it kind of like a Doom mapping trope to have like coffins? I know Plutonia did that. They had like coffins in one level. And for good reason, because it was right before that damned Archvile maze. Ah, here we go. Looks like that's actually a perfect, that's kind of rare. You actually got one from all 3 games. Normally never happens. I think that'll take care of them. With the destruction of the Iron Liches and their minions, the last of the undead are cleared from this plane of existence. Those creatures had to come from somewhere, though, and you have the sneaky suspicion that the fiery portal of Hell's Maw opens onto their home dimension. To make sure that more undead, or even worse things, don't come through, you'll have to seal Hell's Maw from the other side. Of course, this means you may get stuck in a very unfriendly world, but no one ever said being a heretic was easy. Got out all your stuff, so we gotta start whittling them down again with a revolver. Or at least a pitchfork. More fun that way. Banish them to the lava pits! Anybody's seen Super Mario Worlds? One that's just fine. Oh, TNT, my beloved. I'm here because I want to entertain people, you know? I'm also here to get rid of these bats. Ah! I just love the idea of Caleb just waving around a shotgun at bats. It's Starting to think of Caleb less as a gunslinger and more like a geriatric old man. Just flinging around his weapons all willy-nilly. Where's the Revenant Horde? Isn't that what man has been asking God since the beginning of time? No. Who are we? What are we here for? Are we here just to suffer? Where's the Revenant Horde? And I think Caleb really enjoys this lava, you know? It just gets so excited whenever he touches it. I can hear this screams of joy. It's just music to my ears, really.